Hi, I'm going to go ahead and start recording. Let me go to my share screens. This is the first time that I do something like this, so I hope it comes out just fine. I'm going to go ahead and start off by introducing myself. My name is Yolanda Arrona, and this presentation that I'm doing, I decided to do it on the natural disaster Hurricane Katrina. This happened in 2005. And the reason that I picked this natural disaster was because I was thinking when it happened, I was at work, and one of my coworkers, her sister was living in New Orleans, and she shared with me. She was very devastated, and she shared with me the awful experience that her sister lived through, and how her sister lost her whole house and she had to relocate. I want to say she moved to California. So the other reason that it made I grew interest in this topic, in this natural disaster, was because I was thinking about how people, you know, vulnerable people, low income people, were put through such a hardship, horrible uh, experience. Um, and I'll go ahead and go through that as I bring up the different PowerPoint slides that I did. So we're going to go ahead and start off. Hurricane Katrina, which happened in 2005. This tropical depression, if that became Katrina, it first formed over the Bahamas in August, I want to say 23rd, 2005. And then it did hit landfall in Louisiana on August 29th. And Hurricane Katrina was one of the deadliest and most costly hurricanes in the United States. It was so big that we had a total of over 1,800 deaths caused by this storm. This hurricane became a Category 5 over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, with winds up to 175 miles per hour. So it was definitely uh, the biggest storm, awful experience to be going through. And we're going to go on to the different things that I pointed out. First, I wanted to point out one of the things that failed. They had these levees that were um, build to protect. And that's one of the things I wanted to say at the beginning. This is a thing that I feel like also, let people down, because so much money was spent to build these levees and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Why? Because they only did them built to support a storm of a category 3. And this storm was a category 5. So obviously, it did not support what was going on, and it just made everything worse. Um, a large storm surge ranging from 10 to 28 feet devastated the coastal areas across the southern Louisiana and coastal Mississippi. The surge did expose that mistakes done on the levees and the flood walls that were designed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And we also learned this through, our class, how they were exposed. And a lot of people felt that it was their mistake. And expensive flooding through New Orleans region put them at 80% underwater. That is a lot of water to be, you know, exposed to, and the damage that it's causing. The next slide I'm going to go ahead and share with you is the political storm. This is why I titled this slide like that, because after learning about how um, what was done to these people that were suffering from this catastrophe, and how the help was not available for them when it should have been available, and how there was people pointing fingers at other people. So I really touched me about the time frame of the rescue and recovery after Katrina, was very highly criticized. The lack of communication and misguidance from the federal, state, and local government caused high loss of lives and damages. And definitely the training and assistance was insufficient. People, they didn't get the help they needed and the resources they needed on time. And I do see that, they were, this is the other reason they were let down. Um, it was also said that the Mayor Ray, he ordered, an evacuation, but they criticized him because they felt that he didn't do it on it was not enough time. And when he did, evacuate the people, he evacuated his staff first, not thinking about the rest of the residents from his city. And definitely was something that was pointed out, as well as the President Bush was criticized for his response in all of this. And after all this information was let out, we did learn about different um, resignations. Different people had to resign because they did not do what they were supposed to do to help the people that were suffering from Katrina. And, the mayor resigned. Also, the FEMA director resigned, as well as the police superintendent resigned after, all this information was exposed in the media. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next one. Uh, my other slide, it talks about the different poor conditions that people suffered after this huge storm hit. People were put in makeshift shelters where they set up in the city. It was a Superdome and the convention center. You know, this area was is low income families, and they were not given the priority in terms of resources and rescue efforts. Uh, we could definitely see how the help was not given to them um, like it should have been done. And for that, homes and lands were destroyed. Repair and reconstruction from this storm were above estimated at over $105 billion. That is definitely a lot of money. But I wanted to go ahead and go back and touch on the people that suffered from this storm and suffered from not getting the proper help. One of the things that did, you know, touch my heart was to learn of the conditions that these people, they were moving them into these makeshift shelters, but these shelters were already destroyed because of the storm. For example, the Superdome, the roof had collapsed, and then these people were bunched up in this place, and they were, being exposed, as they stated here. Let me go ahead and read this to you because I didn't want to forget this because it definitely something that touched me. Um, People were being put, New Orleans' most vulnerable residents were said to be exposed to filth, feces, stench, urine, and who knows what other things they were exposed to in these places and not getting the proper help. They were hungry, they were feeling hopeless, and just so many people that lost loved ones, that maybe didn't give their loved ones the proper burial. It's definitely a situation that is a nightmare. And I just feel that it's definitely an eye opener to everyone involved and everyone that needs to make sure that we're prepared, because obviously we are not prepared for a natural disaster of this magnitude. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you all, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back to my recording. And I have attached as well the different references that I did use to look up all the information. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Let me see. Pause share, stop sharing. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop my recording here. Let me see if I could find that. Stop recording.